A video that's going to cover some tips and tricks on how to create like a Moombahton inspired drum beat that Major Lazer and DJ Snake use. So this is in support of my recent sound set, Snake Lasers Volume 1. But even if you're not interested in that sound set, doesn't matter. You might be interested in making this type of music. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to do it. So the songs I'm referencing in particular would be Cold Water by Major Lazer and Justin Bieber, and then Let Me Love You by DJ Snake. I think Justin Bieber's in that as well, ironically. And kind of to a lesser extent, Lean On, which was both of them. It was Major Lazer and DJ Snake. So we already have some samples pulled in. I wanted to keep this pretty short. And what we're going to do here, I'm at about a tempo of 109. So if you're trying to do this type of feeling, this type of song, this type of track, you're going to want to be anywhere from maybe 95, 100, 105, up to about 110. It is, you're going to basically do a 4 on the floor type thing. So we have a kick right here, and I pulled this in from Snake Lasers. It's the Moomba kick 00 or 00. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste. I like doing a lot of my drums unless it's real intricate, where I want to actually, or maybe I feel like finger drumming. I'll just kind of make it in my DAW arrange window by copy and pasting. So the type of kick you're looking for, you don't want it to be super subby, typically where it has like a perceived pitch or tone to it, but you don't want it to be super just top end and clicky, kind of in the middle. I'm using one that has a good amount of punch. So what we're going to do now is if we just solo this, it's just going to be just kick, right? Okay, now the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use, you can do either like a conga, a djembe, a tom. You're going to do this little like offbeat percussion, go goo, da do, da do. And what we're going to use a combination of a snare and conga from Snake Lasers. Okay, so there's the conga, right? And I've already rolled off some of the high EQ on this to make it fit a little bit better with the snare, and you'll see that in a second. But basically what I want to do here is, and we're going to mute all the other tracks right now. I'm going to pop this right there. Actually, right there, I believe. Yep, and we're just going to take the snare and the conga at the same time. Right, now that's going to give us that little da-do-da. And this is what is going to make it sound less heavy, even though it's 4 on the floor oriented. Right, so let's just copy and paste that out. Okay, and we're going to copy and paste that out on the last 4 bars as well. So it's pretty simple and straightforward to get going. All right, now let's get, you can also layer in another type of snare on the actual downbeat. So if we just put this every other kick, right? So this would be more like a slowed down type progressive feel, or even tropical, where it's just boom, ka, boom, ka. Right, so we're just going to copy and paste that out, every other one. And let's play this now. And I'm going to roll off just a pinch of the highs on that, actually, just a little. I don't want it sticking out too much. So that sounds pretty cool. Let's see what this clap is. And a lot of these samples outside of the kick, the snare, and the clap, I just randomly pulled in. Okay, and we can do the same thing. We can layer in that clap there. And also, inversely, you could put, I've heard some tracks that put the clap and they layer that on the kick hit that doesn't have the snare, and they layer it in real, like, kind of just quietly. Right? Gives it a slight different vibe here. So we might try that with this. Not liking that on this example right here. Let's put back in the snare. All right, so that sounds pretty cool. Now, a big part of that Major Lazer DJ type sound that's pulling in from like Moombahton is going to be definitely incorporating some percussive elements, and it can be like a timbale, it can be a bongo, a djembe, a conga, it can be anything, but you definitely want to get something in there. So let's also, as speaking of percussion, let's get a crash in at the beginning of this. If we were making the drums, that would be in the drop. That's a good thing to have. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in a shaker loop from Snake Lazer. So I'm going to navigate to the drums folder. I'm going to go to percussion here, and actually loops, FX, and vocals. And we're going to go to percussion fills. And I have a bunch of percussion fills here. They're great learning tools. And we also have a stereo shaker loop at 100 BPM. So I'm just going to drag that in to my session here, but I'm going to change the tempo once I'm inside Logic. So this was done with a reel. This was like just me playing with two different shakers, left and right, and I was actually playing it to a click. So that'll have a slightly different feel and vibe than if it was just a straight up sample and I was trying to just make it. So let's go to the time and pitch machine in Logic. If you guys are another DAW user, pitching this stuff's a lot easier, or time stretching. So it was 100 BPM and this session is 109. So we're gonna process and paste that. All right, so now we have the shaker in there as well. So now we have some nice percussion. All right, and I'm going to rearrange part of the shaker loop. So I'm going to chop this guy right there. I'm going to take that and put that right there, because I want that happening more right there. All right, so there that is. I'm going to trim that up and just delete the rest of it there. So we have the 4 bars of it. So that sounds pretty cool. I also have some toms coming in from a synth. So we have a bunch of different percussion now. Well, starting to with the conga, this tom, and this shaker. Let's get a couple more in. So we have this very, very nice sounding timbale drum, and I'm gonna mess around with that placement. So I don't want it right there. All right, that might be kind of cool. And we got a woodblock sound as well that we can get in maybe at a random point in time. All right, and then I also have a few different claps to kind of accentuate every other hit. So we have with this, if you remember that we stuck the snares on every other kick, I'm gonna stick this big reverb clap on every other snare that's playing on every other kick. So we're gonna copy and paste this yellow one out. Let's listen to this now. All right, and before that, I'm gonna get this nice little pre-roll. And you can just take a clap sample. This is what I did. I took a clap sample from Snake Lazer's, and then I just reversed it. So, right, so then that's gonna go into this every other hit of this clap. And that's gonna be a pretty cool feeling. So I'm gonna copy and paste that out. All right, the last one I messed up on. Okay, let's listen to this now. Put the loop back on. All right, so I'm actually gonna change how many times that happens. It's just gonna happen twice for those claps within the loop. I think it's too much. Let's get this timbale in there a couple more times. So let's try it right there. Let's see how that feels on bar 6. Actually, let's try it on 6 point. All right, and then this, let's get this out here. See how that feels right there. I'm trying to vary up where that happens. All right, that sounds pretty cool. And let's drag that out to there, see if that works. All right, so that sounds pretty cool, and it's pretty easy to make. It's just a few different tracks here. We got about maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 tracks. And if we played in something, I have a plug pulled up, and I'm gonna mess around with a little bit with a progression so you can see how this works. All right, so there it is. It's really easy to make that DJ Snake Major Lazer style kind of Moombathon upbeat feeling with the offbeat rhythmic elements to it. Usually that's done with percussion. It's really easy to make that type of track. So guys, check out the other video of this. There's another video in this little Snake Lazer series. If you're curious on how Major Lazer, DJ Snake, Jack U, and Diplo, I know some of those guys, there's some carryover between them. But if you're wondering how they make those kind of ethnic snare rolls and drum fills, check that video out. If you guys have any questions or comments on this video, let me know below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I am Echo Soundworks. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.